Live conversation and lively debate about what's trending in the Carolinas. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now here's Odi.
Well, hello there, and you're very welcome to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. On the show tonight, Uncle Donnie is still pushing to get the Department of Education dissolved. If you had a chance to go to Mars, would you? Oh yeah, Martian trips. If it was a possibility, would you go up on the, whatever it is. We talk about that later on the show. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about hunting. I went on a hunting trip on Friday night. I'm going to be telling you the fallout from that. I want to hear your thoughts. You can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 800-905-0989. Or if you want to talk to Odi, you can talk to me on the PhD Weight Loss Talk line, and that is at 800-905-0989. Also, one number does everything you need to do. Don't forget, I am streaming live on X and X is Twitter, X and Facebook, and I'm on YouTube as well. The WORD 989. The conversation stays going there throughout the entire show, so you're more than welcome to join me if you want to get in contact on X. Now, I normally go straight into my but first, but I'm not. Something very strange happened to me on Friday night, and I just want to talk about it for 1 second. I'm not going to describe myself as a manly looking individual. I'm not going to describe myself as, he's that guy, but I do have quite a substantial beard, and I have a receding hairline, and I've got, I don't know if I'd call it a dad bod, but I'm 6 foot tall, and I look like a man. I look like a guy. Even from a distance, somebody that had visually impaired, they'd say, yeah, I believe that's a man. I believe that's a guy. And I have a deep enough voice, so I believe. But I was introduced to somebody on Friday evening, and I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Odi. And they were like, oh, hello. Can I have your pronouns, please? It's the very first time. It's the very, very first time where somebody actually stood in front of me and said, can I have your pronouns, please? To say that I was shocked and stunned, I just don't get it. I don't look like anything else. I don't. If you were watching on the stream, I'm looking directly at the camera now. Do I look like I could be anything other than a dude, than a guy, than a man? No, not even slightly. Not even slightly. But now let's get back into the show. I just needed to share that. Here we go. But first, we've already done the but first. So I was asked, somebody asked me another question. This is an equally strange question. Somebody asked me a question. What do I think about Conor McGregor running for the presidency of Ireland? President of Ireland at the minute is a man called Michael D. Higgins. He's a doctorate of literature, I do believe. I think he is. He's a very learned individual. And if you go onto your smartphone now, because everybody has it in their pockets, just type in Michael D. Higgins or the President of Ireland. And you will see that, now I'm not making this up, he looks like a hobbit. Yes, he does. He's a small stature man, and he looks like a hobbit. He looks like Bilbo Baggins, old Bilbo Baggins. I'm not messing. I'm not joking. And I've met him in person. He is an absolutely beautiful man. He is very well educated, and he talks. He has a way of talking about him that it's a lyrical way of talking. It is. But his term of presidency, his second term of presidency, is ending later this year. He's 7 years. The Irish president gets to sit in the equivalent of the Oval Office of the White House. It's I'm not going to say the name because it sounds a little bit naughty, but it is pretty much the White House, and he's been there for 14 years. It is a 7-year term. Okay, and he's about to finish up. Conor McGregor has thrown his hat into the ring because he was up talking to Uncle Donald. Now, first of all, I agree with an awful lot of things that Uncle Donald does, and I believe of an awful lot of things in J.D. Vance, the vice president, and the press secretary. And, there's a lot of really good stuff happens up in the White House. But I'm going to hold my hand up on this one. I'm going to say, Donnie, why did you get Conor McGregor into the Oval Office of all people? A man that says he represents the Irish population. No, he does not. No, he does not. Now, you're listening out there. You're having a little. You're thinking. You're like, why is Odi? Odi's an Irish guy. Why is he? Why is he beating up on Conor? What's Conor done? Well, you see, I've said this before a couple of times that news doesn't travel across the pond. And when I say the pond, I mean the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. And if it does travel across the pond, it's not the full news. So when Donnie was going for presidency, you remember back he was going up against Sleepy Joe, and the news was going across. There was fictitious news being made up, and it was going across into Ireland, into Europe about Donald. And they said Donald was terrible, but he's not. Obviously, no, he's a nice guy. We've seen that. And they were saying that Joe Biden was, that he was the best man in the world ever. But I mean, we all know that to be fictitious. And you're saying, Odi, that doesn't explain why you're hating on McGregor. Conor McGregor, if you know or may not know, he's a bit of a rogue. He now has a sexual assault allegation, which is now turned into a charge, that was put against him on the 9th of December. Apparently, on the 9th of December, he sexually assaulted a young lady in a hotel room in Dublin. This was in 2018, and it finally went to trial last year in 2024. He was found guilty of convictions of sexual assault and brutally raping and battering a young lady. The young lady's name was Nikita Han. She's a hairdresser in Dublin. Conor McGregor was then forced to pay 250,000 euros, which is equivalent to $257,000. He also has a litany of fighting charges against him. He has been known to start fights. Now, this is a man who gets into a ring. He's a UFC fighter, but he was a UFC fighter, and he gets into a ring and he fights with people. He is a trained man. He's trained to fight. Fair enough, you're saying. But he's also a man who knocked out an older gentleman in his 60s in Conor McGregor's own pub. He literally walked in, they had an altercation, and he knocked him out. He couldn't be the bigger man to walk away, which he should have. He destroyed a couple of tour buses. He punched other people. He started fights, and he's just all around not a nice guy. Now, I talked to quite a few Irish people over the last couple of days, and I said, is he liked back home? I don't believe he's liked back in Ireland. And they've said no. No, he will probably get about 4 or 5% of the vote if he does, if he even gets it. And that's if he even gets a nomination, because he has to be nominated by 4 different departments. So 4 different, I want to call them senators. It's the equivalent of the senator. But if Conor McGregor becomes the next president of Ireland, which I really hope doesn't happen, will anything happen? And the straightforward answer to that is no. Because the president of Ireland is a figurehead. President of America is the boss. President of America, Uncle Donnie, he is the chief. He is the big wig. He's the top guy. He's the big brass. Whatever he says pretty much happens. President of Ireland is a figurehead. The real power in Ireland is the Taoiseach. Now, you've probably heard that said quite a few times in the last couple of days, because the Irish Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, was talking to President Trump a couple of days ago in the Oval Office for St. Patrick's Day. And Taoiseach pretty much means Prime Minister. So he's the Prime Minister, and he is the decision maker. So if Conor did get into the Irish equivalent of the White House, not much would change. He likes to think that he'd make a big difference, but he doesn't. And if you're doubting anything I say, please feel free to look up any of Conor McGregor's rap sheets. Some people say, well, he's one of your own. No, he's not. He's not. He does not represent the Irish people. And he definitely doesn't represent me. Because, well, we all know I'm American at this stage. Getting there, nearly getting there. When I come back, Bernie Sanders is making headlines. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas.
Keeping you informed and engaged and live on the Odyssey app. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald.
On News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
The Mike Gallagher Show. He's your happy conservative warrior.
Do you realize they were going to spend hundreds of thousands on an Anthony Fauci museum at the National Institutes of Health? Do you think most American taxpayers are okay with our money being used to fund a tribute to that guy?
Breaking news and what to make of it. Don't miss the next Mike Gallagher Show.
Weekdays at 10, right after Tara, on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 54. Southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for showers tomorrow 75, overcast. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Right now, 70.
Southern Roots is back. Saturday, April 12th from noon to 4 at Trailblazer Park in TR. Southern Roots benefits iDivine, which helps families and children affected by the rare genetic disorder Kleefstra syndrome. All-you-can-eat food, alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks included, artisan market, and live music. All-inclusive general admission and VIP tickets are available at Southern...
Sorry. I left everything turned on. If you're new to the show, which there's a few people are new to the show, I wouldn't go to Mars, no Dollar General stores. That's funny. That is funny. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the stream, see, Elizabeth, now you're after trolling me completely. If you're new to the show, my show keeps going throughout the ad breaks when we are live on air. You know I'm live on air on the radio because I will have the headphones on, because I need to be able to hear what's going on. And when I'm not, I am live here on the stream, but I am live on the stream for the entire 2 hours of the show. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, and I mean anything you want to talk about on the stream, I will have a chat about it. I will do some research, live research, and we will get talking about it. Slight headache tonight because of the pollen. If you're living here in South Carolina, you know what the pollen is all about. And I have a slight headache because of the pollen. Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. The old Shawshank Redemption is on in the TV in the studio here tonight. Yeah. Go film. No, I can't take it. I actually can't take any of them. If I take Zyrtec or Zytec or whatever it is, I know they just, all of the medications just, send me doolally. I'll be honest with you. If I take any kind of antihistamine, something like that, I have this kind of stoned look about me. Yeah, I know, it's weird. But yeah, I can't. And you're very welcome back to the Jazz Hour here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. I don't know. I decided to play some Rush. It's a bit jazzy. It's all jazz, man. I kind of like it though. Sorry if you're listening on the stream, I can't play the music out on the stream. I'm sorry. On the stream, Elizabeth has said to me, "I wouldn't go to Mars, Odie. There's no Dollar General stores." And I was on the stream. Remember, the show keeps going on the stream when I am in the ad breaks. I was talking about the pollen and the fact that it is really messing me up. And Mamba Bev has said Zyrtec helps, and I can't take it. I can't take it because if I take Zyrtec or any allergen medication, it completely wipes me out. It knocks me out completely. Yep, no, I can't. I don't really take much medication for anything unless I have a very, very, very bad headache. I won't take anything. On the common sense retirement planning text line, what have we got? Oh yeah, Odie, was it hogs or coyotes? Either way, it doesn't really matter. I just hope you got a bunch of those pests and took them off the face of the planet. I'm with you on that one. I will tell you, don't worry. Hogs. Odie, you never finished your story. What was your response? So this is in response to the person, I assume this is in response to the person that asked me what my pronouns were. I kind of looked at him and I just shook my head and you can figure that one out. Odie, only Irish people can call other Irish people hobbits. I'm not going to finish that text. I'm not. Odie, when they ask you your pronouns, you should... When they asked you your pronouns, you should have said, "Get her done." That's my pronoun, get her done. You just sit right back and get her done, son. Odie, remember that... Odie, do you remember that there was a missing bag of cocaine in the White House that they found? If Connor had been there, would he have found it before anybody else? Absolutely no comment on that whatsoever. No. Can't even try and comment about that. Odie, isn't Ireland one of the most socialists and highly censored countries in Europe? The guy doesn't sound like a really good president. Again, Texter, the thing is that the president of Ireland, again, he's a figurehead. He doesn't really run the country, and he doesn't really have a lot of say in what happens. He just signs off on the bills, and he is the power technically, but he's not. And of course, Odie, a big shout out to Kid Flaccid. You're very welcome to the show, Kid Flaccid. Yeah, the Irish president, as I said earlier on, doesn't really have a whole lot of, doesn't really have a whole lot of clout. Yeah, but yeah, still a lovely person and a great ambassador for Ireland. He really is a great ambassador for Ireland. And some people have said that I'm not a bad ambassador for Ireland. And, well, I do try my best. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders, you know that independent guy? Well, he's more of a Democrat, is he? Is he? Well, anyway, he got up. He was doing a taped interview of ABC's show This Week. And the interview aired on Sunday, which is tonight. Or it will be airing tonight. And he accused Jonathan Carl of asking nonsense questions. So Jonathan Carl asked a question as to whether Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, you know who it is. She's a Democrat up in New York. He asked, should she run for Senate? And Uncle Bernie stood up and he said, I'm not answering these nonsense questions. So what does that tell you? What does that say to you? If Bernie Sanders is pretty much, listen, let's just call it like it is. You know, he's an independent, but is he? Is he really? And he said, this is a nonsense question. I'm not answering this question. So if he doesn't give her support, now you have to remember this, Alexandria, she was up until, I think she still is, she's explaining to people that are in the country illegally how they should stay or how they can stay in the country. I'm going to say one thing. I'm just going to let it out there because I've talked about it before. If you're in the country illegally, you're going to get deported, I'm sorry to say. I'm not sorry to say, because you're here illegally. You're going to go. You look at. And people have said, Odi, you're a bit harsh when it comes to that. No, I'm not a bit harsh when it comes to that. I've talked about it before. It cost me a lot of money to live here. It cost me a lot of time, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of tears. Yes, I said tears to almost call myself an American citizen, a green card, a permanent resident here in the United States. And if you're in the country illegally, then, look over your shoulder, because you probably shouldn't be here. But anyway, Alexandria Cortez, she has been telling people how to avoid ICE. Now, that's not really something that she should be doing. She's she's in the House of Representatives. Right? She is a rep. And should she really be explaining to people how to avoid the legal system? Now, I know if there's something that you need to do, you can talk to a congressman, you can talk to a senator, you can talk to one of the members of the House. You could even, if you have a chance and if you have the capabilities of doing it, you can go and you can talk to Uncle Donnie. You can find a way to have a chat with him. There is ways. Yeah, you can apply to talk to the president if you really want to, which I kind of do. And I've been trying to contact him, but we'll say nothing about that. I would love to talk to Donald. Love to talk to Donald. You'd have a proper Irishman in the White House on St. Patrick's Day if you had me for an interview. But however, I'm not. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, Connor. No. I mean, even if Bernie Sanders is saying that Alexandria Cortez should, if he said it was a nonsense question, is it nonsense because he thinks that the answer is, oh yes, she should run for Senate, or does he think it's a nonsense question because, oh no, there's no way on this planet that I would give her any kind of, leeway. There's no way on this planet that I would say that she is the right candidate for the position, not even slightly. I think that's what Bernie was saying. That's what I got from it. Like he had said during the interview, right after calling Cortez an extraordinary person, Sanders would not answer the question about whether or not he would like to see her in the Senate. Speculation has ramped up that AOC is challenging Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer in a primary after Schumer supported a government funding bill to avoid a partial shutdown. See, yeah, I just think, and getting back to that, coming back into AOC, which is so cool with her AOC, getting back to that, should she face criminal charges? Because I remember many, many years ago when George W. was in George W. Bush was the president. I remember him saying, "Do not harbor fugitives. Do not, if you harbor a terrorist, then you're a terrorist." I remember him saying that. I remember clear as day. I remember saying, "Do not harbor fugitives. Do not feed. Do not home. Do not clothe. Do not shelter fugitives. Do not feed, clothe, shelter terrorists. Because if you do that, then you're a terrorist." Right? You remember when George W. said that? Yeah, you do. So that means that if AOC, if she is harboring people, then is she not doing something illegal also? I don't know. I don't know. When I get back, I'll be talking about the Department of Education. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD. It is the voice of the Carolinas.
key here is we actually focus on people's lived experience, what they're seeing, what they're feeling.
And Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders says the Democratic Party has no grassroots support. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Mainly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 54. Southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for showers tomorrow, 75 overcast. And meteorologist Jennifer Finchinsky from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Right now, 70.
Here we go. What do you want to start with? What's going on with the mask? I would love to know what the hell's going on in our country. I get more information from talk radio than I get from my representatives. I get all my news from you. You are so appreciated by many of us out here. And, I'm trying to get a little more we understand what's going on in this country.
The voice of the Carolinas. Spread the word. This is News Talk 98.9 WORD. The voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, it's Charlie James. People are always asking me about QC Kinetics treatment. So
Trey. Okay. That's going out on air, Trey. That's going out on air. There's a long ad break at the minute. I need to stand up. Oh no, yeah, no, I get that, but yeah, I do. I get the realism about it, but I get the joke about it as well. Oh, ow! Did everybody have a good day? I had a fantastic day today. Got a lot of work done. Good. You want to give me a like, you can give me a like. Give me a thumbs up.
Join us at Nova Square for Piedmont Natural Gas Downtown Alive. Presented by Spectrum. Arts After Dark is every third Thursday, featuring local artists with Metropolitan Arts Council. Piedmont Natural Gas Downtown Alive. Thursdays, March 13th through August 29th. Visit gmailevents.com. Did you know colon cancer can be detected early?
My uncle just passed away, and I inherited his project from Roger. He was a member of the Flat Earth Society, so Roger picked up on some of his...
Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. Is himself watching? Is himself watching? I assume if Nana's watching, then Little might. Let me know. Give me a text on my own phone. Let's do radio.
Find out more at coloncancercoalition.org. A message from the Colon Cancer Coalition.
And you're very welcome back to Sunday Nights with me, Odi Fitzgerald. A little bit of Apache there in the background. I like that song. Yes, I definitely do. On the stream is going a little bit crazy tonight for some reason. Oh, my good friend Trey. Seriously, Trey. Seriously. Okay. No. Not going to make fun of it. Not going to make fun of it. Trey says to me, Odie, one of my friends said that a girl that he was interested made fun of him for being colorblind. Hmm. He said it raised a lot of major grey flags. Seriously. I love my listeners. The jokes are terrible. But he goes on to say then it was a true story that the last place I worked had a quality manager who was colorblind. See, here's the thing about colorblind people. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of colorblind people out there. And but I'm not going to get into it tonight. I'm not going to get into it tonight. On the text, the common sense retirement planning text line. Yeah, it says young Miss Cortez should be prosecuted. She should also be impeached and, if convicted, and expelled from the United States Congress. I'm with you on that one, Texter. I know I'm not going to use that nickname that Bob used. No, I'm not going to use it. No, I'll make up my own nickname for her. Yes, I will. Now, President Trump has continued to push to unwind the United States Department of Education on Friday, announcing that the management of the entire federal student loan portfolio and of the departments of special needs programs would be moved to other federal agencies immediately. Appearing in the Oval Office with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Trump said that I have decided that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, who helped by Kelly Loeffler, a terrific person, will handle the student loans portfolio and will have the portfolio, and it's a very large portfolio that Trump goes on to say. Now, this brings me on to something. So first of all, if you're curious as to why Trump is trying to unwind the Department of Education, let me just remind you of how massive, and I want to hear your thoughts on this as well, about whether you think he should or shouldn't. I want to remind you of how massive the United States is. Okay, it is absolutely huge. If I was to drive from the radio station here in Greenville and I was to go, for argument's sake, up to Seattle, I like Seattle, nice place, good place. Went to see lots of bands up there. I was big into grunge when I was younger, so you know I traveled to Seattle when I came to America first, and it was a great place to go to. But if I was to drive, it would take me 27 hours, I think it is. You know how long it takes to drive across Europe? Just Europe itself, going across about 6 countries, takes about 15, maybe 16 hours at the most. And for me to go from Ireland to Poland, so that's from Ireland across the sea on a ferry, okay, then go all the way across England, and then go from England to France on a train, goes under the sea, and then to drive into Belgium. Drive into France, drive through France, drive into Belgium, drive into Germany, and then drive into Poland, halfway across Poland, because I was going to Auschwitz. I went to the Auschwitz camp many years ago. It took a long time, right? It didn't take 22 hours. It took about maybe 14 hours, 13 hours. So America is a massive, massive country. Massive country. You cannot expect the kids that are learning something in Alaska to be any way beneficial, apart from history and geography and, you know, a few different pieces that are shared. You cannot expect kids living in Alaska to learn the same stuff as kids living in Florida, and for them to for it to be beneficial to them. Do you get what I'm saying? So Donald has gone on to say that every state should run their own school systems, which I think they should. I think they should, because every state is completely different. And I'm not even going to talk about the whole transsexual thing in schools. I'm not tonight. But Donald is saying that he's going to work on the student loans. Now that brought me onto something. I was done a little bit of a deep dive. I went down a rabbit hole, and I'm curious as to why it is so expensive to go to college. Have you been to college? Have you been to university? Let me know. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. Let me know, have you been? And if you have gone to college or university. So I went to, I done all my my studies in Ireland. and I still have a little bit of student loans that I'm paying off. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I'm getting there. Nearly paid off. But I'm 44. Yes, I said 44, and if you heard last week, I would have said 43, but I'm 44. I'll give you a hint on what happened there. And I'm still paying them off. I've got a lot of degrees. But should it be a thing that further education should be readily available to a lot more people? And why is it costing, on average, for 4 years of tuition, between $108,000 and $252,000 for 4 years of tuition, depending on whether you're attending a private or a public institution? I've said it before. May not have talked about it on this station before, but we definitely have talked about the pros and cons of having a degree as opposed to having a trade, or vice versa. We've talked about that, and yes, I will talk about that again. But if you're going for a job, okay, if you're going to work in a factory, and if you want to go in and you want to work as an operator, you do your 9 to 5 or whatever time you do, you go in, you're working on machines, or if you want to go in and work as a mechanic and you're quite happy to go in, do your job, go home, feel satisfied that you've done a great job. More power to you. I know many people that have done that, and it's great. You're earning money, you're saving money, you're feeling good about what you do. If you want to go in as an engineer, or if you want to go in a little bit higher up the ladder, then you have to have a degree. You have to have a degree. You have to have at least 2 years. If you're going in as an engineer, you have to have at least 3 years or 4 years. So if you're going in with a 4-year degree, you're possibly looking that you have a debt on extortionate interest rates of $200,000, $250,000, possibly $300,000. If you're a doctor, it's ridiculous amounts of money because you've spent 7 years. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, I believe schools, Odi, should be privatized. Should they? I'm thinking that maybe it should be more accessible. I mean, Clemson University here is one of the most expensive schools in the country. Where's the money going? And now I know they have a massive stadium, but I think the stadium pays for itself when people go to it. 80,000 people rocking in on game day. What if the cure for cancer, the 100% cure for cancer, and I'm going to be talking about cancer later on in the show, but what if the cure for cancer is in the mind of a young child or young person, teenager or an adolescent or somebody, or even an older person that could possibly go back to college? What if the cure for cancer is in their brain? And because they can't afford to go to college, we will never have it. What if some of the mysteries of the universe are in the brain of, we'll say, a 19-year-old kid, but they can't afford to go to university? They have promise. You know, their teachers have saying they're a smart kid. They could do really well academically, but they can't go to university. Just makes you think. Just something in my brain. It just made me think when I was doing a bit of research about it. Maybe there is some very bright kids there who need to be put through college, need to be put through university. I'm just putting it out there. When I come back, DOGE has found a lot more problems. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas. Hey, Kerry, what we got? I don't know, Kerry. I don't know the whole Common Core math thing. Um, all of my studies were in Europe, in Ireland, so I'm not 100% sure about that. Give me 1 second.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries. When's the last time you checked your wireless
Possibly.
bill? When it comes to the wireless,
Dun, 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 dun.
reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to consumer cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and save you in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Hey, Green Goblin here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You spit today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Goblin, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna hunt me.
Dun, 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 dun. My head is full of pollen. I washed my car yesterday and I got all the pollen off it. And I washed my car again today just to get all the. Now, when I say washed, I just hosed it down. You know, the not the sprinkler head, but the head on my hose pipe. Just hosed it down, hosed off all the pollen, hosed my boat off while I was at it as well. Well, the cover of my boat. Okay, shall we do radio for the last section of the hour? I do believe we shall. Now, if you're just joining us, we were previously talking about student loans and what will happen when Donnie gets rid of them. I do call him Donnie. I do. I call him Donnie. He's my Uncle Donnie. You know, he looks after me. Odi, because I was talking about the price of schooling as well. I was talking about the price of education in the country. Odi, bright students can apply for academic scholarships. Yep, no, I agree with you on that. There is a lot of scholarships out there. There is academic scholarships, and there is, of course, sports scholarships. But here's the thing. For argument's sake, if you have a child who is very bright, very, very intelligent, and they apply for an academic scholarship and they get a free ride, how free is the ride they're going to get? Like, is it a thing that everything is going to be paid for? Their schooling, all of their schooling, their food, their accommodation. I mean, you could, I'm going to put this out there. You could have a child who comes from a massive family. There could be 10 kids in the family. They could be Catholic. You never know. You could have a lot of kids in the family. And maybe it's not a feasible thing that, you know, the parents can afford to support a kid that's away in college. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's what I do. Odi, college was much cheaper before student loans were made so easy to get. Ending student loans will force colleges to lower the prices. I believe you on that. But if you make student loans hard to get, which, well, I mean, yeah, okay, it's a catch-22. You reduce the prices, they won't have to get loans, they won't be so big and they won't be so high. Yeah, and colleges have come forward. Well, I don't know if colleges have, but a lot of people have come forward and they have said that the reason that colleges were so expensive, one of the reasons, is that they were to keep undesirables out. If you weren't a desirable person, then the price was up, so you couldn't afford to do it. You couldn't afford to go to college. Something that was said to me. Not too sure how I feel, but I mean, yeah, could be true. Could be true. United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said that wasteful spending is over, and he has signed a memo to cancel over $580 million in the Department of Defense contracts. Well, has he? Is he going to do it? So if you haven't been aware, Doge, which is Elon Musk's brainchild, clever guy, very clever guy, as if you didn't know that already. Elon Musk has found a lot of spending that that the United States government have been spending on ridiculous stuff. I talked about it a few weeks back. I talked about the fact that there was research being done in Russia by American scientists in Russia as to why hamsters feel sad. There was also one, this one, this. If you're a dog lover, just hum to yourself for 30 seconds, 15 seconds. There was research done as to what happens when beagles mate with each other high on cocaine. Whoever decided that was a good thing to do. Anyway. Defense Secretary Hegseth goes on to say, we are back with another quick update on our efforts to cut wasteful spending and cut it quickly at the Department of Defense. Now, I want America to be safe. I really do. And you were saying to me, Odi, America does need to be safe. And yes, it does. 100%. We need to give our boys and girls in all of the armed forces the best technology that we can give them. But the big thing is how much money did Sleepy Joe leave in war-torn countries? You remember when he decided to pull all the troops out of Afghanistan? He just pulled the troops. That's all. He took the people. You know, our boys and girls in the Army and in the Navy and in the Marines and Space Force. I think Space Force could have been out there. We'll talk about that later in the show. But he just took the people. He didn't take the guns. He didn't take the tanks. He didn't take the armored vehicles. He didn't take some of the helicopters. Some helicopters still out there. And how do you say, you're saying, Odi, how do you know this? Well, because I watched some of the videos of Afghans trying to fly the helicopters. Spoiler alert, they died. Okay. These are multi-million dollar Apache helicopters. You've seen them. You have to wear a special helmet to be able to fly the thing because your head movements also control some instruments in the cockpits. Sleepy Joe decided, I think, maybe I forgot, but I think somebody told me that I thought that we need to remove all of our fighting, what are they called? Oh, yeah, people. We need to remove all of our fighting people from Afghanistan, and maybe it's because they don't have ice cream. I don't know. But did I tell you I was Irish? We're gonna bring them all home because that's what I do as the greatest president ever to walk here in Canada. That's get the Canada boys home. Let's get our troops home. Sacre bleu, huh? Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened when Sleepy Joe, or when somebody told Sleepy Joe to bring. I'm not even going to go back into the auto pen. But how much money did we leave over there? How many millions of dollars? Well, apparently there's $580 million of excessive spending. I wonder, has that anything to do with it? Is that, was there $580 million left in Afghanistan for Afghan terrorists and Afghan leaders to take? And have you ever seen the movie? Have you ever seen the movie with Nicolas Cage, Lord of War? I think it was Lord of War. Yeah, I think it was Lord of War. Where he was buying, he was a what you call it, an arms dealer, and he was buying weapons that were left on battlefields and selling them to other people. So you can be as sure as leprechauns giggle when they run that a lot of everything that was left by Sleepy Joe is now in the hands of the Taliban. And it is now in the hands of the battle that is happening in the war that is happening in Giza. You can be assured that there's Humvees driving around there that have the US Marine Corps scratched off the side of it. You can be sure that there is weapons being used in Ukraine by both sides that were not given to either Ukraine or Russia by the American military. Now, yes, I know there was a lot of weapons given to given to Ukraine from America, but there's extra weapons and there's conflicts happening in Africa, and you can be sure that they are using American weapons. Why? Because of all of the American weapons that were left over by Sleepy Joe. I wish I was joking. I'm not. Dexter says, Odi, your impression of Joe Biden is priceless. Thank you very much. I've been working on it. I can't get Donnie. I just can't get it. Apparently, when I do my impression of Donnie, it sounds like George W. and Bill Clinton had a love child. That's what I was told. That's a texter told me that before. So I don't do an Uncle Donnie impression. I will work on it. I will work on my Uncle Donnie impression, and I will, if I ever get to meet the big man, which I'm hoping beyond hope that at some stage I will get to meet Uncle Donnie. That would be a great day. That would be an amazing day, because Charlie's met him. Charlie James show, and he's been in the building. The president was in this building before. He has been here, and maybe if we start some sort of what you call it, a petition, get Odie to meet Donnie. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun. When I come back, I'm going to be talking a little bit about hunting. I went on a hunting adventure during the Friday night, giving it away when I say Friday night. So I'm going to be talking about hunting. Let's take the news. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. All right, Kerry, what we got? My mother was a super math teacher. Is she was super, or is it super math? I don't. Please excuse my ignorance. I don't know if she was a really good math teacher or if there's a thing called super math. I don't know. In the 70s to the 90s, since then, the math has been dumbed down. Yes, it has. Requires making pictures of sheets of paper. So I believe, I haven't 100% heard about that, but I believe it, for just one problem, and parents can't follow it. Yeah, you see, somebody has said that to me before. Hang on, we'll just finish this. It is suggested that one professor somewhere and raised in high praise. And yeah, no. Math test scores shows, yes, they do. The thing is, when I was so I've engineering degrees. I'm a mechanical engineer. So physics and mathematics were very high on my to do, and I would consider myself to be pretty good at math. Sorry. But about 6 or 7 years ago, some very good friends of mine, they were living here. They're from Ireland. They were living here in America, and they moved back to Ireland recently. And their kids, I was over at the house one of the evenings, and their kids were having problems with a math problem. And their dad said, "Oh, he's good at math. He'll help them out." I reading the problem, I was able to answer it, and I checked it out a lot. And they were all looking at me. 3 kids were looking at me. He's like, "No, Odie, that's not how we do it." I was like, "Yeah, but is the answer right?" And like, "Yeah," and they weren't sure. Like they weren't sure, but yeah, like is it getting to the stage that 1 and 1 no longer equals 2? So I don't know. Anybody ever seen a scorpion down here? No. I don't want to see one. I just.
But first, the 88-year-old pontiff gave a Sunday blessing from his hospital suite.
Oh! I watched the ending of Yellowstone. I wasn't impressed with the ending. Wasn't. I'm not going to spoil anything because I know people are still catching up. I wasn't impressed with it. I wasn't impressed. Not at all. Not at all. The Pope.
New Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and his Conservative opponent kicked off their election campaigns today against the backdrop of a trade war and annexation threat from President Trump.
We are facing the most significant crisis of our lifetimes because of President Trump's unjustified trade actions and his threats.
Let me get your thoughts in on the stream before I go back on air. I'm going back on air in about 30 seconds. Or a minute because of a few ads to get through. Let me hear your thoughts about hunting. And the reason I say that is I went hunting on whatever night it was, Friday night. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Yep. Let your thoughts be heard here on News Talk 98.9 WRD Voice of the Carolinas. What have you only seen in pet shops, Trey? I think when I go home this evening, I'm going to have some noodles. Maybe like the old haircut. I got the haircut there during the week. There's a new Walking Dead out as well. Trey, what have you only seen in pet shops, brother? The animal I shot. Are you saying it's small? Are you saying it's not small and tiny? It's the look of disgust here, Trey. Look of disgust. It's not the look of love. The look of love.
And now, welcome to Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Live conversation and lively debate about what's trending in the Carolinas. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Now here's Odi.
And you're very welcome back to the second hour of this dulcet tones of the Irishman. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, you can get in contact with me. I want to hear you. I want to hear your thoughts because it is because of you that I do this show. You can get me on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, which is 800-905-0989. That is open throughout the entire show. And you can give me a call on the PhD Weight Loss Talk line, 800-905-0989. I will answer, and yes, I would love to have you on air, but we kind of got to do it around the ad breaks because Odi is here on his own in the studio. Now, you can also get me on stream. I am streaming live. There is quite a few people on stream already tonight, and the conversation keeps going on stream throughout the entire show as well. That is on the WORD 989 Facebook page, my own Facebook page, which is Odi Fitzgerald, and you can get me on my YouTube, Odi Fitzgerald again, and X, News Talk 98.9 WORD. Conversation is riveting at the minute. Now, I was talking a little bit about hunting. Now, if you're a listener, if you tune in, which you do, I know you do, you tune in to all of the shows here on News Talk 98.9. And if you're an avid listener, you will have heard this Irish guy on with Bill Frady on Friday evening. We were just chatting a little bit about hunting. I was going hog hunting. A very good friend of mine, very, very, very close friend of mine, Mr. Holiday, he brought me out. And he does a lot of night hunting. He does a lot of hog hunting at nighttime and a lot of coyote hunting. I don't have a scope, a thermal scope, but I was using his. He let me borrow it. And we went out on Friday night and we went to a couple of locations. I'm not gonna say where they were. You know, it was in South Carolina, not too far from here in Greenville. And we didn't see any hog until about 11 o'clock. Next thing, a hog popped his head up, a boar, a male, and I took the shot. And he literally went down straight away, gone. There was no suffering, nothing. There was three of us actually looking through scopes at the time, and I took the one shot, and it was a clean kill, and he died straight away. End of story. Hog gone. Okay. I then decided that I would post a photograph of it on my Facebook feed, on my Instagram feed and my Facebook feed. I got quite a lot of backlash. Now, I'm well able for it. I've no problem in talking to people, and I did not argue with anybody. But a lot of people said to me, no, this is disgusting. I don't want to see this. This is horrible. I don't want to see this. And a lot of people said, no, I hate the fact that you've done that. Hate the fact that you've done this. I'm like, okay, it's a strong word. Now, I then went on to tell them that hog are an invasive species. They're not native to South Carolina. And they were brought in. I don't know how they got here. I think they came from Europe, but an invasive species. And they do untold damages. They break fences. And now I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know you know this. I know you're well aware. You're shouting at the radio, Odi, we know this. But I don't think other people notice. And something that screams out to me, and I was talking to a few of these people, and these are friends of mine. And I was talking to a few of them, and I was talking to a few people that said, I can't believe you're after posting this on Facebook. And I said, well, I take pride in the fact that I'm controlling an invasive population. It's a way for me to put meat on the table. Okay. It's a cheap way for me to put meat on the table. Yeah, I know when you talk about, the price of firearms and you talk about the thermal imaging and all that kind of fun stuff, it's not really cheap, but it is. It's cheap. And it's good meat. So I deer hunt, rabbit hunt, I fish. And it's a great way to get clean meat on the table. Yes, I know there is a lot of farmers out there who deal solely in grass-fed beef. But the thing is, if you just put yourself in the frame of mind, if you were an animal and you were going to be made for meat, that's it. That's your sole purpose in life, is that you are going to be turned into somebody's food. Would you prefer to be out in a forest doing what you normally do, completely unexpected, and down straight away, killed? Or would you prefer to go to a food plot, the feed plots? Would you prefer to listen to all of the other animals around you being killed? Because that's what happens in these feed plots, in the slaughterhouses, the abattoirs, whatever you want to call them. Would you like to hear all of that and then be electrocuted so you're not quite dead, you're not quite alive, and then have your throat slit? That's what happens to pigs. That's what happens to pigs. The hog or pig that I shot went down straight away, died instantly. Now, yes, I know it had a little bit to do with my marksmanship. Your bullet placement is perfect. You have to be confident about what you're doing when you're going hunting. You don't just go hunting. I've hunted with people in Ireland and here in America who will shoot at a bush, a moving bush. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, there's a deer or there's a hog. No, there's not. A breeze hit. So you need to have a little bit of respect for the hunting that you're doing. Remember all the rules? Remember when you were taught as a kid, know what your target is, know what's behind your target. Some people don't do that. But yes, no, if you're going to go hunting, just make sure you're up to speed on what you've done, on what you're doing, on your hunting. A lot of South Carolinians chimed in, and Americans, and they chimed in and said, thank you so much for doing this, because you're decreasing the invasive species population, and I'd like to think I am, and you're making it safer for people to be in the woods, because although there hasn't been too many incidents of hogs attacking people, they can do it. The hog I shot was up on, he was pretty high. He was big. He was a big animal. He was 270, 280, 290 pounds. So you imagine that hog running at you in the middle of the night because it's dark. He's going to do a lot of damage. And yes, they do a lot of damage to crops. They do a lot of damage. They eat other animals. They eat smaller indigenous animals. They have no problem in eating birds. They have no problem in eating lizards. They have no problem. Now, snakes, I could do without that. But yeah. So it's just something. And I want to know, have you ever had any, I want to say, hate towards you, or, feedback or negative feedback because you're a hunter? Let me know. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. We will talk about it throughout the rest of the show. It's a topic that it's near and dear to my heart. I really like hunting. I'm a respectful hunter. There's a lot of times where I have let deer walk, not just going to go out willy-nilly and shooting absolutely everything. Odi on the text line, the quiet man. What are we talking about, the quiet man? John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know them, but, Odi, wild hogs are dangerous to every living creature, including children. Yes, they are. Odi, those complainers probably wouldn't know how to get their own food. You see, that is something that I've talked about before. I think there's a lot of people out there now who believe that their food, their meat, different types of meat, fish and pork and lamb. I know lamb is not too common down around here, but I believe that a lot of people feel that their meat grows in the supermarket. And I feel that some of them even think that, the corn on the cob or the sweet corn or the mushrooms and potatoes and all that kind of stuff, that somebody has to grow and farm and cultivate and harvest and bring into, I won't say factories, but they don't just arrive in the supermarket. There is a massive team of people behind farmers who have to bring the food in. And I think that's something that we need to start educating people with. Just a possibility. What have we got on the text? Those complainers. Oh yeah, we talked about that when they don't. Some of them don't know where their food is coming. They don't know. Now, when I come back, I'm going to be talking about it's a sensitive topic, but you know me, I'll talk about a lot of things, and I will mention some sensitive stuff. And we're going to be talking about the fact that cancer has touched every family you know, every single family you know. I'm going to be giving you some tips how you can minimize and reduce the risk of getting cancer in the summer period. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas.
Debate and discussion on the news of the weekend. This is Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Straight Talk with Bill Brady. Age is a relative thing, but there is a common denominator amongst some of these elected officials out there. Who most of the ones I was referring to are in their 80s, but your feelings are so delicate that you can't take me describing things. You should probably think about a good pilot class during this time of day.
Straight Talk with Bill Brady. Now weekdays noon to 3.
News Talk 98.9
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
Now, the Carolinas' most trusted forecast from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Lows of a lot around 54 to
I'm running down the dream.
8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for showers tomorrow, highs of a lot around 75. Meteorologist Jennifer Lucchese from the News Talk 98.9 WORD Weather Center. Right now, it's 66 degrees.
I found the fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. Now, I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference.
It was a beautiful night.
QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just
Trey, sorry. Yeah, scorpions, Trey. Yeah, I want to see one, but at the same time, I don't I don't want to go near them. Carry what we got. Hunting is required in places. Kill the deer. Doing over. Ah, yes. I have to do something very important. If you're watching on the stream, I have to do something very, very important. News Talk 98.9. Yeah, what you got, buddy? What's your name? What do you want to talk about, bud? Yeah, what do you want to talk about, buddy? Cool. Hang on the line. I get talking in 2 minutes. Hang on there. Okay.
Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading is a vibe changing, it's for you.
Hello, buddy. What's happening? Hey. Kibble.
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
She was hit by a hospital and all that, and she suffered a traumatic brain injury from a high-powered spike in a trans-identifying opponent. The doll's impact caused neurological impairments, including a concussion, vision problems, and partial paralysis to the right side of her body. The year following her traumatic brain injury is full of blank spaces that she'll never remember. So it wasn't just about
As you can gather, that was a very important message that I needed to send to someone extremely important to me. Hey, buddy. What do we got? Totally agree with you about hunting. Yeah. There you go. Time for me to do radio. And you're very welcome back. Going to go straight to the talk line, PhD weight loss talk line. Tennessee Titan, you want to talk a little bit about hunting? You're very welcome to the show, sir. How is your Sunday night going?
Hey, Odi, it's I think you said Titan. It's Tennessee Tiger.
Tennessee, I am sorry.
That's fine.
See,
That's fine.
this is the thing. This is the Irish guy coming in here, and he's not too
Yes,
sure of the
yes, I
different places.
understand.
It's
No problem. No problem at all. Hey, you were talking about hunting hogs. Now, I worked at an editor,
Mhm.
and most people don't know that that's French for the
slaughterhouse.
yeah, slaughter pen. And we went hunting from the kill floor. We went hunting for hogs out into the holding pens, and then we ran them up through the lanes into the door.
Yeah.
And into the little holding room, and we didn't shoot the hogs. We just put the chain around their back leg,
Right.
and then hit the button, and it
lifted them up.
It raised them up to the rail,
Mhm.
and then it kicked off automatically, and you climb the ladder and you go to. But we would cut their throats,
Mhm.
and the reason for that might sound cruel, but you want all the blood to run out.
Yeah, you want the blood to come out of them, and I think it's well, not with hog or not with pig, but when it's done with beef, I think it makes it kosher. If I'm right in saying that, I think if a rabbi does it or something like that. But yes, there's different aspects to it. But the thing is, so you worked in an abattoir for quite some time. Was the fear of animals, like, were animals afraid of being there because they could smell death as soon as they got to the abattoir? Would I be right in saying that?
Well, if you're not used to the smell of blood, the first time I went there, because I had a brother-in-law that worked there and his family, and that's one of the worst smells until you get used to it. I think animals, just the fact that we killed for families that raised their cattle and they wanted them processed there,
right?
And then we killed what we sold, which was only Black Angus,
right?
But the animals were just scared of just being in an unfamiliar place.
Yeah, and would I be right in saying that they also, like, I mean, that would get their adrenaline running. It would get the fear up on them. It would tighten up their muscles. It would make them unhappy of their surroundings. I mean, a place they wouldn't be aware of. And I mean, that can, I won't say taint some of the meat, but I mean, if
no,
is it something?
I don't know about that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's just a natural fear of, like I said, at one time, it's not when I was there, that there were railroad tracks that ran there, and they used to get the cattle off the railroad tracks.
Right.
I mean, of the railroad cars. But when we ran cattle in, we would climb up above them. We ran them in the chute, and we took a sledgehammer and hit them in the head. That's what we did.
Tennessee Tiger, I do believe that if that was me, I'd much prefer to not a sledgehammer into the head. I'd much prefer to be out in a field or a pasture or in a woods and just hear the little bang noise. Tennessee Tiger, thank you so much for taking the time to call in tonight. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your Sunday. And that's the thing. It's like, I think it's a much nicer thing out in the wild, out in the open. I think it is. Now, little subject I want to have a chat about. It's something that has faced absolutely every single household. Okay. Now, I'm not going to mention anybody in particular because there's HIPAA laws and violations and all that kind of stuff. But every family has been touched by cancer. Absolutely every family. And it's something that I'm aware of because I have very, very, very light skin. I'm a pasty Irishman. I hold my hand up. And whenever I go anywhere, I have to put sunscreen on my arms, on my face, on my ears, on my back of my neck, and if I have shorts on my legs. Because as a extremely translucent Irish person, I am very prone to skin cancer. So that is one of the precautions that I take. And as a man, we sometimes kind of like, oh, I'm not putting on that skin factor, whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'll be fine. But I'm only out in the lake and, I can jump in the water if I get too hot. Studies have shown that 15 minutes exposure, like without sunscreen on you, can, I'm not saying it does, but it can lead to difficulties. It can lead to little things. But some facts about skin cancer. Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer worldwide. It has over 3 million cases diagnosed annually. There are three main different types. There is the basal cell cancer. I'm not going to go into it, but melanoma. We all know the melanoma one. Sun exposure is the big one. Sun exposure is one of the biggest causes of skin cancer. Now, there is other causes. People that work with chemicals can get chemical burns, and they can get it that way as well. But it's an easy thing to help prevent. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to stop you from getting it, because, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's around the corner. But if you put on sunscreen, and if you're watching on the stream, I'm currently wearing a fishing shirt. It is a light because it's warm here in the studio, and I'm wearing a fishing shirt. I wear it when I'm fishing as well, and it has long sleeves, and I can pull down the long sleeves, and it has a hood, and pull the hood up. And if you watch guys fishing in tournaments, they all wear fishing shirts because they want to reduce skin damage. They really do. And as well as that, if you're putting on sunscreen, it keeps your skin looking a bit younger. Sun damage will make your skin look a little bit older. It will, 100% will. What do you do if you see signs? Don't be afraid. Go to your doctor. Get it checked out. A big one I am going to talk about, well, because I am a male of the species, is testicular cancer. Don't be afraid to check. Don't be afraid when you're in the shower. When you go for a shower, you're washing your hair. Okay? You wash your hair in your head. If you don't have hair in your head, you're washing your head. You'll wash your arms, you wash your body, you'll wash your chest, you'll wash your stomach, you'll wash behind you, and you will, as a guy, you will wash your testicles. When you're doing that, just have a little check for yourself. You're in warm water, you're on your own, and you're more than likely on your own. Have a little check. If you feel anything that is a little bit different, you've got two testicles. If one of them feels a little bit different, a little bit tender, a little bit anything, go to your doctor. If you see other signs like blood in your stools, go to your doctor. As soon as you see it, as soon as you see anything, head over to your doctor. Have a chat with them. Go to a skin care specialist. If you've got a mole on your body, or if you've got something on your body and you're not 100% sure what it is, just head on over to your skin care specialist. And here's the thing. Don't feel a little bit strange. Like when you walk into your doctor and you go, like if you were a guy and you're walking in, and as a guy, because we're guys and we do this, we're like, doctor, I have one of these, just walk in and say, doc, I have something on my testicle. I would like you to check it out for me. Would you? And the thing is, they will say, yeah, no problem at all. Lie on the bed or do whatever, and we'll have a little check, and they check it out. And if they need to examine further, they will. Same with ladies with breast cancer. If you have an issue, there's mammograms available. Go get them done. If you feel anything, go to your doctor. If it's skin cancer, if you feel like there's something with a mole or something, just go and get it checked out. Doctors have seen everything. They have seen everything in every shape and form. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WORD. It is the voice of the Carolinas.
Calling all heroes. It's time to honor our veterans and first responders. Bill Frady here. Join me at Upstate Warrior Solutions, 770 Pelham Road, this Wednesday for a live edition of Straight Talk with Bill Frady from noon to 3. Complimentary lunch will be served at noon for our esteemed men and women in uniform thanks to Ingles Markets, serving our veterans and first responders because they serve us. Thank you. From News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Tom, can we talk?
What now, Con? Can't you see I'm trying to eat here?
Those guys you hired to paint the house last year? The paint's chipping so bad, there's more paint on the lawn than on the house. I'm embarrassed to have friends over. People are talking, Tony.
Kerry, you're talking about the Scorpions down in Key West. That's warm down there, though.
Rhino Shield comes with a 25-year warranty, so we'll never have to talk about this again. I've already called them, Tom, and I got an estimate. It's cheaper than having those so-called painters of yours come out every few years and do whatever it is they do.
All right. Can I just eat in peace, please? Need your home painted again? Call Rhino Shield now, and you can just forget about it. Visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. That's RhinoShieldCarolina.com, and you'll never have to paint your home again. Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe 10, 20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage.
Gatorade. Went to get new glasses this week, and apparently my eyesight is a little bit better than it was a year and a half ago. And I've been told I look strange without my glasses now. Do I stream people on the stream, because you're all that can hear me at the minute? Do I look strange without my glasses on? Because people have said, "Oh, Odi, you look strange without your glasses on." So this is glasses off. And the glasses on, obviously enough, because you can see that. Do I? I don't know. Will we do radio? Ding, 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 ding. To the sharp listener who texted into the show, Odie, it's not New Year's Eve. Yeah, sorry about that. Listen, this is what I do. I have fun here on a Sunday night because, as we all know, Sunday night is the start of the week. 100% start of the week. This is Sunday. So therefore, I am the first show in the lineup, first live show in the lineup here on News Talk 98.9 WD Voice of Carolinas. Absolutely fantastic shows here. Award-winning shows, I might add. But yes, I am the first show out of all of the Irish presenters. I am the best. Oh yeah. Yeah, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do this show because of you. You are the reason I do this show. And thank you so much for tuning in and coming along on this crazy journey. On the stream, I was asking, so I wear glasses now, and I went to get my glasses, my prescription checked. And apparently my eyesight, it's no worse than it was. It's actually a little bit improved. I don't know how that happens. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, we had I assume it's a trucker who texted in and said, "Great show, Odi. Do a show about truckers sometimes, truck drivers sometimes." I'm actually going to do that and I'll tell you why. Because I think the truck drivers lead a very, very interesting life. So yeah, no, I definitely 100% will do a show about it. Now, earlier on, we were talking about skin cancer and testicular cancer, breast cancer, and all the different types of cancer to get checked out. If you find anything, see anything, if there's any changes in your body, go to your doctor, check it out, because they've seen everything. They've seen everything. We had a texter text into me, Odi, the basal cell skin cancer is the most common skin cancer there is. I had a piece about the size of my fingernail, and they had to cut a piece of my skin off. It was about the size of a Kennedy $50. That's big enough, and made a pretty nice scar. But here's the thing: it is scarred, but you're here and alive and happy. I would much rather have scars than be in a box. 100%. Yeah. And if you're new to the show, if you haven't tuned into the show, I don't hold back. I don't sugarcoat anything. I just let it out. You know, whatever comes into Odie's brain, almost there's a filter for some stuff, but I just let it out. You know, I would, as I said there, I would rather have scars on my body than be in a box. Just put it out there. Now, would you go if it was offered to the moon? Or would you go if it was offered to go to Mars? Would you be one of the astronauts that goes to Mars? I don't know if I would. I would like to go to space. Some people have said I'm a bit of a space cadet as it is, but I would like to go to space at some stage. It's something. Yeah. I know. There is more people have done. I don't know. There's what was it? There's more people have stepped on the pyramids than have been in space, or there's more people who've. I don't know. But not too many people have gone to. Not too many people have gone to space. I'd like to do it, but apparently, Mr. Musk, Mr. Musk, Elon, good friend of ours, good guy, Elon, sorts out a lot of problems, looks after all of us. Elon is going to be sending people to Mars, but we're going back to the moon first. The Artemis 3, or if you're listening in Ireland, the Artemis 3, is expected to launch in mid of 2027. First crew landing on the moon since Apollo 17. It's going to be in February of 2024. NASA has completed a full qualification, testing, and docking system of the Starship HLS. And the cost to send the astronauts to the moon is going to be on the NASA's Artemis program is estimated at $4.1 billion for the 4-person flight, including the SLS rocket, the Orion spaceship, and ground support systems. Now, I will ask, and somebody's already gotten in on the thing. I'm just going to ask the question before I get onto it. Do we need to go back to the moon? I mean, we've been there. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, and before you even start, I can see you get ready to text. I can see you have half the text already written. We went to the moon. Okay. Not having that debate. You are very welcome to your opinion. You can text in and say, well, you see, Odi, I don't believe that we went to the moon. I think it was on a soundstage in California, and we didn't actually get there. Well, I do. I believe that we did. And there you go. Texter to the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line says, Odi, we have been to the moon before, and we know we can return from the moon. Yeah, there you go. Mars sounds like a one-way mission just to find out that it can be done. Now we have put lunar lander or Martian landers on Mars because we've got the photographs back, and oh, this guy's back again. Artie, we actually haven't been to Mars. That's just Arizona. The people are taking photographs in Arizona, and they're saying it's the moon or Mars or some. Stop it. That guy can just go over there. That's conspiracy, Kieran. Yeah, sit in your corner. Stop it. But yeah, no, we have been to Mars. Well, we've sent robots to Mars, and it looks kind of cool. I've seen some of the photographs, but do we need to go? Do we need to go? Because you might be asking, well, Odie, how much is it going to cost for people to go to Mars? It's going to cost anywhere from 100 billion to 500 billion dollars, potentially even reaching the staggering heights of 1.5 trillion dollars to get somebody or a crew onto the Martian surface. I think that's incorporating bringing them back as well. Could that money be spent better elsewhere? Or is it a thing that we need to go to space because, well, you know, is it a possibility that we may have to go to space eventually? Not in my lifetime, not in yours. Now, unless this asteroid hits next year, this W512S, whatever they call it, Bruce Willis can't help us this time. I'm sorry, Bruce. Bruce shares a birthday with me. Yeah. But no, nobody. So, do we need to go to Mars? Should we go to Mars? I'm just after getting the most random text message in. Well, I get many, many random text messages, but this one here is, Odie, what do you call a fart in Ireland? Smelly? I don't know. Mars has a very harsh atmosphere, and it is not warm like it is on Earth, and it is as cold as the moon. That's a very strange choice. Yeah, but it's the next planet over, so we kind of have to do. We were talking about your doctors and going talking to your doctors. Somebody texted in very wise words. Two people that you don't lie to or withhold information from is your doctor or your lawyer. That's fair enough. I agree with that. Odie, we do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And that text comes in from JFK from possibly beyond the grave. That's kind of freaky. But yeah, no, I know. I get where you're coming from, Texter. Thank you very much. Yes, it is because we do things because they are hard. And as I've said in a few different adorations, if this radio stuff was easy, everybody could do it. It is easy though. It's easy. I just have to press buttons and make sure I press the right button. Like I just press this button here and oh, music happened. Don't know what kind of music it is. I don't like that one, so I'm going to pick something different. And I have that capability. I'm just going to get here and then pop this one over here. And this is live radio, folks. This is what happens. And then I'll press this button and Tom Petty starts singing. There you go. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of Odie and his craziness on Mars. It was a beautiful day. Okay. Oh, I can't. It's on my other. No, Gary. Oh, maybe I can. Hang on. Kerry, just for you, and for me, and for Lonzo, and for absolutely everybody else. It does kind of stick in your head, doesn't it? I will play it when we come back. Braden, we're used to seeing with your glasses, hence seeing you without them looks weird, but just meaning different because I am weird. I am very weird. Thank you for letting me be weird. If you're wondering, has your favorite Sunday night presenter lost his mind? Yes, he has a little bit. Yes, he has. I'm playing the stick song. It's going to stick in your brain, stick in your. If you listen to us on Saturday nights, you'll know that we do the brackets, and the stick song is part of the brackets. You need to tune in. You need to. This is a stick song. That's not a stick song. I love that song. That's going to be stuck in your brain. You can look it up. It is on everywhere. Just look up the stick song. Okay, it is right there. Now, will I do this now? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. As you know, on the show, I talk about a lot of things. Actually, no, we'll go with this first. We'll go with this little piece of music, and yep, that's going to do there. And we go there because I'm back. Yes, I have started going back to the YMCA because I need to shed a couple of little pounds. A little bit of there's a little bit of a gut there. I'm trying my best and I'm doing the best I can. And I took a little bit of sabbatical from the YMCA for 2 weeks because I was unwell, but I went back this week and I died ever so slightly, just a little bit. But I'm back, done a workout, feeling good about it. Because, as you all know, I went to the. Yes, I did. Anybody in the stream? Sorry, I can't play the song. Can't play the song. Play the stick song. Can't play the YMCA. But yes, so I'm back, and I'm still looking for ways to make it more enjoyable. I still don't like going, but I like going to the swimming pool. But the actual working out thing, it hurts me. It does. It hurts me. Yeah. So I'm back at the YMCA. If you see me at the Y, come down, have a chat with me. I'm very open, very welcome to talking to people. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 800-905-0989. Odi, how many miles is the Voyager satellite that we sent out beyond our solar system? And it is still working and sending information back. Yes, it is. Go figure. Yeah, it is. It's gone out beyond the solar system and it is still sending. Oh, well, you see, Odi, Voyager isn't actually gone out beyond the solar system. It crashed and burned just after they let it go up in the air, and it's AI. We're using AI. Stop. Just get into your corner. No, we're not listening to that rubbish anymore. No. Now, on my show, every single week, I talk about sometimes life just gets a little bit heavy. Life just gets a little bit hard and we all feel it. We all experience it. We all experience what life can throw at us. Some of us are very easy, we just kind of, it's fine. Because maybe it's not something big that's thrown at you. But if your life is getting a little bit crazy and you feel that there's no way out, there's always a way out. And I want to talk about my friends in the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number for them is 988. Now you're saying, Odi, I don't really want to call somebody. I don't really want to talk to somebody. Well, you have the option to text them. You can text on your phone. If things are going a little bit down, if you feel that there's no way out and you feel that you need a little bit of help, and we all need a little bit of help all the time. Everybody needs a little bit of help at some stage in their life. I needed a little bit of help, and I went to and I got in touch with a really, really good therapist, and my life is immeasurably different from what it was. And yes, everybody needs a little bit of help. So you can call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or you can text them. You can send them a text message from any phone, any of your smartphones. The number again is 988. Do not be afraid to contact them. Seriously, do not be afraid to contact them because everybody's different and everybody has a story and everybody at some stage needs a little bit of help. Now, I went to get a haircut during the week and I'm not going to mention the area, but it's in Seneca. I went to a hair salon and I got a haircut that I have never experienced before in my life. I went in and I was chatting to the barber and they were telling me what they were going to do and, what was going to happen. And I was like, yeah. And they listened very intently and asked me exactly what I wanted to get done. So, and then I got my haircut and then I got my beard trimmed. Oh yes, I got my beard trimmed and I was looking pretty dapper. Then they said to me, but we're not finished yet. No. We're going to bring you out back and we're going to wash all the hair, the cut hair out of your hair. Went in the back room and lay down in, the sinks that you lie in, and a hot towel was put across my beard to exfoliate and do whatever they had to do. I don't know. And then I got a head massage while they were washing my hair. I will tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. That was amazing. Little bit expensive. Like I normally pay about $12, $13. I go to the barber. I go to the old school barber. I do. But because it was my birthday, my birthday on Wednesday, I decided to go and get myself a good, nice haircut. Didn't break the bank. A bit expensive. But I tell you one thing. I will be going there again. So maybe all the guys out there, maybe you should spoil yourself. And I will say, all the ladies out there, maybe you should spoil yourself too. I don't go to a barber because that's for guys' hair. But you can go and you can pamper yourself. I think everybody needs a little bit of pampering at some stage in their life. Really do. I think you do. Now, America, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you. Just a small little one. Just ever so slightly. Why can I not find chocolate Easter eggs? Now, I'm not talking about Kinder eggs. I'm not. I'm talking about big chocolate Easter eggs. about maybe 3 or 4 times the size of an Easter bunny. You know, the Easter bunnies you can get, the chocolate Easter bunnies, about 3 or 4 times the size of that. Just look up Irish chocolate Easter eggs or English chocolate or European chocolate Easter eggs. And I'm just kind of like, there is a place in Atlanta where you can get them, specialized British store, and you can buy them there. But I can't find them. I was in Ingles today, and I was like, maybe now they've got chocolate bunnies. They do have chocolate bunnies. Look, I know I'm after talking a little bit about going to the YMCA and for me to lose weight and all that kind of stuff. And here I am talking about chocolate bunnies. But like, you know, yeah, I'd like a chocolate Easter egg because yeah, I grew up with them. First 37 years of my life when I lived in Ireland, we'd have chocolate Easter eggs on Easter Sunday morning before we went to church. Don't ask me how that happened, but it did. It was a tradition that was always there. But just look them up. Look up chocolate Easter eggs. See how you go. See if there's anywhere that will sell them here. Again, yes, I understand the whole plastic Easter eggs, the Easter egg hunts. They're great fun. They are great fun. Some of the prizes in some of the Easter egg hunts are absolutely fantastic. But I'm just you know, I found a place where I can get an Irish breakfast. We've talked about it before: sausages and rashers and black pudding and white pudding and all the accoutrement that goes with it. But just chocolate Easter eggs. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, Odi, discuss about going to the moon. According to some guests on AM Coast to Coast with Clyde Lewis, there are people, aliens, and all that kind of living in the center of the moon. Maybe there are. Fair enough. I'd like to meet them. Odi, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Yes. When you get to 44, I think you kind of stop counting the birthdays. But yeah, well, you know. Another happy birthday, another happy birthday, another happy birthday. Odi, where's Tim gone? Tim's on vacation. That's yeah, Tim's on vacation. Yeah, Odi, thank you very much for reading out about the suicide line. No problem at all. It's what I do because we all need a little bit of help some stage. Don't forget, I will be back next Saturday night with Lonzo and the rest of the crew for the Upstate Pulse. We were talking this week about the SC Comic Con. It's going to be amazing. I'll be back here again on Sunday night for the next exciting installment of Sunday Nights with Odi Fitzgerald. Joey Hudson's back at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tara's going to be on the airwaves of your wireless in and around 6 o'clock. Then you've got Mike is going to be here and then Bill Frady. And we're going to be wrapping up with Charlie James. I will talk to you next week. Have an absolutely fantastic week. Slán Abhaile. Bye. All right, my streamers. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, as I've said, I do this show for you. So thank you again. I will talk to you next week, Saturday night. Don't forget, tune in for Lonzo and the crew. I'll be here for that. And on next Sunday night, back here again. So until then, have an absolutely fantastic week. Don't do anything I would. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Don't end up in jail. Behave yourself. Slán Abhaile. Bye.